The Great Hall of Axis Prime was the largest room in the known galaxy. Its ceiling stretched so high that clouds sometimes formed inside it. Lights from 1,000 different star systems floated in the air like tiny suns, and at the center of it all, 11 chairs stood in a circle. Each chair held a representative from the most powerful species in the galaxy. This was the Galaxy Council. They had kept peace for 10,000 years. They decided which species could join the galactic community. They decided which species were too dangerous. And today, they would decide the fate of a small blue planet called Earth. High Arbiter sat in the tallest chair. His skin was pale blue and his eyes were completely black. He had led the council for 200 years. He had seen many species rise and fall, but he had never seen anything quite like the creatures from Earth. "We will now hear the case against the humans," said. His voice was calm but carried through the entire hall. Commander stood up from his chair. He was one of the warrior species that had conquered dozens of worlds. His body was covered in thick gray scales. His teeth were sharp, and his eyes burned with hate. They believed that only the strong deserved to live, and they believed that they were the strongest of all. "Fellow council members," began. "For 300 cycles, we have watched the planet called Earth. We have studied its people, and I am here to tell you that humans are the most dangerous species we have ever found." Some members of the council shifted in their seats. A few laughed quietly. Humans? Dangerous. They were so small. Their technology was primitive. They had only just learned to travel between stars. Continued. "I know what you are thinking. They look weak. Their ships are slow. Their weapons are simple, but you are making a terrible mistake." He pressed a button and images appeared in the air above the council. Pictures of Earth. Pictures of humans. "Look at their world," said. "They call it Earth. We call it the gravity is crushing. The weather is violent. Storms, earthquakes, floods, fire. Their planet tries to kill them every single day. And yet they survive." The images changed. They showed humans fighting wars, humans building cities, humans splitting atoms and walking on their moon. "They evolved as predators," continued. "They hunted every other creature on their world to extinction or submission. They fought each other constantly. In just the last 100 years, they killed over 200 million of their own kind in wars." The council was silent now. No one was laughing. "And here is what frightens me most," said. "They adapt. No other species learns as fast as humans. They went from riding animals to flying machines in less than a century. They went from simple rockets to nuclear weapons in less than 50 years, and now they have discovered faster-than-light travel." Turn to face the council directly. "If we wait, they will spread. They will grow stronger. They will become impossible to stop. We must act now while we still can. I propose that the Empire be given permission to integrate Earth by force." High Arbiter raised one hand. "You wish to conquer them." "I wish to protect the galaxy," replied. "The humans will not be harmed if they surrender. They will simply become part of the Empire. They will serve us, and we will make sure they never threaten anyone." Ambassador stood up from her seat. She was a species known for their intelligence and their love of peace. Her skin was silver, and her movements were graceful like water. "I must object," said. "We cannot attack a species simply because we fear what they might become. The humans have done nothing to us. They do not even know we exist." "That is exactly the point," said. "They do not know we exist yet. When they find out, what do you think they will do? They are predators. They will see us as either prey or competition. Either way, they will attack." Shook her head. "You are guessing. You do not know how they will react." "I know their history," said. "Every time humans have met a new group, they have either conquered them or been conquered by them. There is no peace in their nature." The council debated for hours. Some agreed with, humans were too dangerous to leave alone. Others agreed with, attacking an innocent species was wrong, no matter the reason. Finally, High Arbiter called for the vote. all in favor of allowing the Empire to integrate Earth by force. 7 hands rose into the air. All opposed. 4 hands rose, was one of them. The motion passes, said. He felt a strange weight in his chest, something like doubt, something like fear, but the council had spoken. Commander, you have permission to proceed. Smiled, it was not a pleasant smile. I will take 200 warships. The campaign will be finished in 3 rotations. These humans are primitive. They will fall quickly. And what of the humans who resist? Asked. Shrugged, they will learn not to resist. As the council meeting ended, Ambassador walked slowly to the observation deck. From there, she could see thousands of stars. Somewhere out there, on a small blue planet, billions of humans went about their lives. They had no idea what was coming. Had spent years studying humans. She had watched their broadcasts. She had learned their languages. She had seen their art, their music, their stories, and she had seen something that Commander had missed. Yes, humans were violent. Yes, they fought wars, but they also did something else. When their world was threatened, they came together. When everything was against them, they did not give up. They fought harder. Thought he was going to conquer a primitive species. Knew the truth. He was about to wake up a sleeping giant. She looked out at the stars and whispered, "May the ancients help us all." 200 warships departed Axis Prime that night. Their weapons were charged. Their soldiers were ready. Commander stood on the bridge of his flagship and dreamed of glory. The journey to Earth would take 12 rotations. When they arrived, they expected to find a scared and divided planet. They expected easy victory. They had no idea that they were flying toward the greatest mistake in galactic history. On Earth, people went to work. Children went to school. Lovers walked in parks. No one looked at the sky. No one knew that in 12 rotations everything would change. But when it did change, the galaxy would learn a lesson it would never forget. The humans were not prey. The humans were not weak. The humans were just getting started. Admiral was sleeping when his phone rang. It was 3:47 in the morning. He had been dreaming about his daughter's wedding, which was supposed to happen next month. He would never forget that dream, because it was the last peaceful moment he would have for a very long time. "Admiral, you need to come to headquarters immediately," the voice said. "We have a situation." 20 minutes later, stood in the command center of Earth's United Defense Fleet. Screens covered every wall. Officers ran from station to station. Everyone's face showed the same thing, fear. "Show me," said. A young officer pulled up the satellite images. At first, did not understand what he was seeing. Then his blood went cold. 200 objects had entered the solar system. They were not asteroids. They were not comets. They were ships, alien ships, and they were heading straight for Earth. "How long until they reach us?" asked. 18 hours, sir." Closed his eyes for just one moment. When he opened them, he was no longer a tired old man. He was an admiral. He was a warrior, and his planet needed him. "Wake up the president," he said. "Wake up everyone." President addressed the world 6 hours later. He stood in front of cameras that broadcast to every nation on Earth. His face was calm, but his hands shook slightly. "My fellow humans," he began, "I must tell you something that will change everything. We are not alone in the universe, and unfortunately, whoever is out there does not come in peace." He explained what they knew: alien ships coming to Earth, no response to any communication attempts. The world watched in shock. "I will not lie to you," continued. "This is the greatest threat humanity has ever faced, but I believe in us. I believe that when we stand together, nothing can break us. Starting now, there are no more nations. There are no more borders. There is only Earth, and we will defend it with everything we have." Within hours, the world transformed. Countries that had been enemies for centuries shared military secrets. Factories stopped making cars and started making weapons. Scientists who had competed against each other now worked side by side. Every human on Earth had one thought: survival. In Seoul, Commander Park coordinated the ground defense. She was only 34 years old, but she had more combat experience than most generals twice her age. She had fought in 3 wars and never lost a battle. Now she faced her biggest challenge. "We don't know how they fight," she told her staff. "We don't know their weapons, we don't know their weaknesses, so we prepare for everything. Dig trenches, set traps, hide weapons in every city, every village, every forest. If they want Earth, they will have to take it meter by meter." In a secret laboratory, Chief Scientist worked without sleep. 3 years ago, her team had recovered a crashed alien scout ship. They had kept it hidden, studied it, learned from it. Now that knowledge might save humanity. "Their shields work on frequency rotation," explained to the military leaders. "If we can match the frequency, we can break through. I need more time." "You have 12 hours, Admiral told her. "Make it work." And in the sky above the Pacific Ocean, Lee checked his fighter jet for the 100th time. He was the best pilot in the world. Everyone said so. He had broken every record. He had won every competition. But he had never fought in a real war. "Scared?" his wingman asked. Smiled, terrified. "But my grandmother is down there, my little sister. My dog. You think I'm going to let some ugly aliens hurt them?" His wingman laughed. It was a nervous laugh, but it was still a laugh. That was something. The alien fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 200 ships formed a wall between Earth and the Sun. Commander broadcast his message to the planet. "People of Earth, I am Commander of the Empire. Your world has been claimed by the Galaxy Council. You will surrender immediately. All military forces will stand down. All governments will transfer power to administrators. In return, your lives will be spared. You have 1 rotation to comply. If you refuse, we will take your world by force." The message played on every screen, every radio, every device on Earth. 7 billion humans heard it. 7 billion humans waited to see what would happen next. President met with his advisors. Some wanted to negotiate, some wanted to surrender, listened to everyone. Then he made his decision. "Get me a channel to that fleet," he said. The broadcast went out. Every human watched. Every alien watched. The whole galaxy was about to hear humanity's answer. Stood straight, he looked directly at the camera, and he spoke 3 words that would change history. "Come and take it." Commander stared at his screen. He could not believe what he had heard. These primitives, these insects, they were refusing to surrender. "Perhaps they did not understand," his second officer suggested. "Should we translate again?" "They understood," said. His voice was cold. "They simply do not know what they are facing. We will teach them." He turned to his crew. "Prepare all ships for combat. We attack at dawn and show no mercy. These humans need to learn their place." On Earth, the final hours passed quickly. Soldiers said goodbye to their families. Pilots climbed into their cockpits. Scientists made their last calculations. Admiral stood on the bridge of his flagship. It was an old ship, nothing compared to the alien fleet, but it was his, and he would fight with it until the end. "Sir," an officer said, "they're moving, the attack has begun." Nodded, he picked up the radio and spoke to every ship, every soldier, every pilot under his command. "This is Admiral, they think we are weak. They think we will fall easily. They are wrong. Today we fight not just for our countries but for our species, for our children, for our future. They want Earth. Then let's show them what it costs." The first alien ships entered the atmosphere, their weapons charged, their soldiers prepared for easy victory. They were about to discover that nothing about Earth was easy. Park watched the sky from her command post. The first explosions lit up the clouds. "All units," she said into her radio. "The enemy is here. Remember what we're fighting for. Remember who we're protecting, and make them regret ever coming to our world." Somewhere above her, Lee pushed his throttle forward and screamed toward the alien ships. His heart was pounding. His hands were steady. He was about to become the first human to kill an alien in combat. The war for Earth had begun, and the galaxy was watching. Lee flew his fighter straight at the alien ship. Every part of his brain screamed at him to turn away. The enemy vessel was enormous, at least 10 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. Its hull was black and covered with weapons. It looked like death itself. But did not turn away. He had watched the broadcasts. He had seen what happened to planets that surrendered to the slavery, suffering, the complete destruction of culture and freedom. He would rather die fighting than live like that. "Phoenix Squadron, this is Phoenix Leader," he said into his radio. "Follow my path. We go straight through their formation, hit them fast and hard." 20 fighters followed him. They were small, fast, and made of Earth steel. The aliens had never seen anything like them. Locked onto the nearest ship and fired. His missiles streaked through the black of space. The alien shields flickered and held. "Shields are too strong," his wingman shouted. "We can't break through." "Then we get closer," said. He pushed his engines to maximum. Warning lights flashed. His body pressed against the seat as the G-forces built. Any alien pilot would have passed out by now. But humans had evolved on a heavy gravity world, could handle forces that would kill most species in the galaxy. He flew his fighter so close to the alien ship that he could see the rivets on its hull. At this range, he could not miss. He fired everything he had. The shields broke. Explosions ripped through the alien ship, pulled up just in time, flying through fire and debris. "Phoenix Leader has a kill," his wingman screamed. He got one. Across the battlefield, human pilots learned from his example. They flew faster, closer, and more recklessly than any alien expected. They used their planet's high gravity to train their bodies. They used their fear to sharpen their minds. And they used their love for Earth to fuel their courage. In the first hour of battle, the humans destroyed 23 ships. Commander could not believe what he was seeing. His fleet had conquered dozens of worlds. They had never lost more than 5 ships in an entire campaign. And now these primitives, these insects, were killing his warriors. "How is this possible?" he demanded. His tactical officer checked the data. "Sir, the human pilots, they're flying in ways that should be impossible. The G-forces would kill any of our pilots, but the humans seem unaffected." Muttered, "Their curse had made them strong." He slammed his fist on the console. "Send in the ground forces. If we cannot break them in space, we will crush them on the surface." Drop ships descended through Earth's atmosphere. They carried thousands of soldiers, each one bigger and stronger than any human. Their armor was advanced. Their weapons were powerful. They expected easy victory. They landed near the city of. Commander Park was waiting for them. "Let them come," she said to her troops. "This is our home. Every street, every building, every hill, we know it better than they ever will. Use that knowledge. Make them pay for every step." The soldiers marched out of their ships with confidence. They had conquered many worlds. They had crushed many armies. Humans would be no different. Then they felt Earth's gravity. General, leader of the ground forces, stumbled as he stepped onto the soil. His legs felt like they were made of stone. Every breath was a struggle. The air was thick and heavy, filled with smells and particles that made his eyes water. "What is wrong with this planet?" one of his soldiers gasped. "Keep moving," ordered, but even he was having trouble. On his home world he could run for hours without rest. Here, just walking made his muscles burn. The first attack came from nowhere. A human soldier appeared from behind a wall, fired 3 shots and disappeared. And soldier fell dead. Before they could react, more shots came from the other direction. 2 more fell. "Where are they?" shouted. "Find them." But the humans were like ghosts. They appeared, attacked, and vanished. They knew every hiding spot, every escape route, every trick of the terrain. And they were not just defending, they were hunting. Park led her best squad through the streets of. They moved silently, using the city as their weapon. They collapsed buildings on patrols. They flooded tunnels where aliens tried to hide. They set traps that tore apart enemy armor. These creatures cannot handle our gravity, observed. They're already exhausted and the battle just started. She smiled. It was not a kind smile. Make them run, make them chase us. Let the planet do our work. The soldiers grew desperate. They fired their weapons wildly at shadows. They stumbled through streets that seemed designed to confuse them. Their advanced armor, so effective on other worlds, became a prison on Earth. It was too heavy, too hot. They could barely move. General tried to rally his troops, but morale was crumbling. They had been told that humans were weak. They had been told that Earth would fall in 3 rotations. Instead, they were dying by the hundreds. Call for reinforcements, ordered. We need more troops, more supplies. Sir, his officer said, Commander reports that the space battle is not going well. He cannot spare any ships for support. Looked around at the burning city, at his exhausted soldiers, at the bodies of his warriors lying in the streets. What kind of planet is this? He whispered. The answer came from the darkness, a human voice translated through a speaker echoing off the buildings. This is Earth, and you made a big mistake coming here. More shots, more explosions, more death. On Axis Prime, the Galaxy Council watched the battle through long-range sensors. High Arbiter sat in his chair, unable to move. His black eyes were fixed on the images of destruction. This is not possible, he said. They have never struggled like this. Never. Ambassador stood beside him. Her silver face showed no surprise. I tried to warn you, she said. I studied them for years. The humans are not like us. They do not give up. They do not accept defeat. When you push them, they push back harder. But they are so few, said. They have so little technology. How can they fight like this? Pointed at the screen. A single human fighter was diving toward a destroyer. The pilot was not trying to escape. He was aiming directly at the ship's engines. A suicide attack. Because they are not afraid to die, said. And that makes them more dangerous than any species we have ever known. The council watched in horror as the human fighter crashed into the destroyer. Both exploded in a ball of fire. One life traded for one ship. Commander had expected easy victory. He had expected 3 rotations. The battle was only 12 hours old, and he had already lost a quarter of his fleet. And the humans were just getting started. Back on Earth, Lee landed his damaged fighter at a makeshift base. His hands were shaking. He had seen friends die. He had killed more aliens than he could count, but they were still coming. A medic ran up to check on him. Are you okay? Climbed out of his cockpit. He looked at the sky, where fires still burned and ships still fought. Ask me when this is over, he said. Then he turned to the mechanics. How fast can you get me back in the air? The war for Earth continued, and with every hour the galaxy learned a new lesson about humans. They were small, they were primitive, and they were absolutely terrifying. Commander stood on the bridge of his flagship and watched another one of his ships explode. That was the 50th ship he had lost. 50 ships destroyed by primitives who had discovered space travel only decades ago. Bring me reinforcements, he ordered. 100 more ships. I want them here within 3 rotations. His officers exchanged nervous glances. No one wanted to tell him that the battle was not going as planned. No one wanted to admit that they might be losing. Sir, his tactical officer said carefully, perhaps we should reconsider our approach. The humans are adapting faster than expected. Spun around, his eyes burned with anger. Adapting? They are insects. They cannot possibly understand our technology. With respect, sir, they already do. The tactical officer pulled up the latest data. What it showed made scales turn pale. 3 days ago, humans could not break through shields. Now they were cutting through them like paper. The humans had somehow figured out the shield frequencies. They had modified their weapons to match, and they were sharing this information with every ship, every soldier, every pilot on Earth. "How is this possible?" demanded. "Our shield technology is the most advanced in the galaxy. It took the centuries to develop it. How did they crack it in 3 days?" No one had an answer. In her underground laboratory was running on caffeine and determination. She had not slept in 4 days. Her team had not slept either, but they had done something incredible. "The shield frequency rotates every 0.3 seconds, explained to Admiral through a video call. "We finally mapped the full rotation pattern. Now our weapons can predict where the shield will be weakest and hit it at exactly the right moment." Admiral stared at her in amazement. "This is incredible. How did you figure it out so fast?" She smiled tiredly. "The alien scout ship we recovered 3 years ago gave us a head start, but mostly, we just refused to give up. We tried 1,000 different approaches. 999 failed. One worked." The new weapon modifications were sent to every military unit on Earth within hours. Factories worked around the clock to produce the upgraded missiles. Human engineering teams took apart captured weapons and figured out how they worked. Within days, humans were using alien technology against the aliens. This was what terrified the Galaxy Council most of all. Not human strength, not human courage, but human speed. Most species in the galaxy took decades to adopt new technology. Some took centuries. Humans did it in days. They saw something new, took it apart, understood it, improved it, and used it. They did not wait for experts. They did not follow protocols. They just solved problems. On the ground, Park demonstrated this perfectly. Her forces had captured several soldiers alive. Instead of simply interrogating them, she had her medical team study their biology. Within 48 hours, humans knew every weakness of the body. "Their eyes are sensitive to bright light," told her commanders. "Use flares and flash grenades. Their skin cannot regulate temperature well. Drive them into the heat or the cold. Their legs are built for low gravity. Make them run uphill. Make them climb. Let exhaustion do our work." She also discovered something else, something that changed everything. "Their armor has a gap at the neck," said, pointing to a diagram. "The plates do not overlap properly. A knife in the right place will kill them instantly." Human soldiers learned this technique in hours. Soldiers started dying in ways their commanders could not explain. Their advanced armor, which had protected them on 100 worlds, became useless against humans who knew exactly where to strike. General was losing his mind. He had started this campaign with 20,000 soldiers. He had less than 8,000 left. Every day, more of his warriors fell to human tricks. "They are everywhere," he told Commander. "They attack from buildings, from tunnels, from the water. They dress like civilians and strike when we are not looking. They blow up our supply lines. They poison our food. They never fight fairly." "Make them fight fairly," ordered. Howe shouted back. "This entire planet is designed to kill us. The gravity crushes us. The air burns our lungs. The weather changes without warning. And the humans, they are part of this world. They use it against us like a weapon." The reinforcements arrived. 100 fresh ships joined the fleet. Commander finally had the numbers he needed. But the humans had not been waiting quietly. Admiral launched a massive counterattack. His fleet had started with only 40 ships. Now he had 62. The extra 22 were captured vessels, repaired and controlled by human crews. "Hit their command ships," ordered. "Take out their coordination, make them fight alone." The human fleet struck with precision that should have been impossible. They used weapons against ships. They flew captured fighters alongside human jets. They attacked from angles that made no sense, using strategies that no one in the galaxy had ever seen. Lee led the assault. He was flying an alien ship now, one that his ground crews had repaired in just 2 days. It was faster than anything he had ever flown. Its weapons were more powerful, and he knew exactly how to use it. Phoenix Squadron, this is Phoenix Leader. Target their flagship. All weapons, everything you have. 40 ships, human and captured alien, focused their fire on Commander's command ship. The shields flickered. Alarms screamed. The hull began to crack. Watched his perfect fleet fall apart around him. His reinforcements were arriving too late. His tactics were not working. His soldiers were dying by the thousands. Retreat, he finally ordered. The word tasted like poison in his mouth. All ships fall back. We regroup at the edge of the system. The fleet pulled away from Earth. They had lost over 80 ships. They had lost 12,000 ground soldiers. They had lost something even more important, their belief that they could win. On Axis Prime, the Galaxy Council watched in complete silence. High Arbiter turned to Ambassador. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. "You were right," he said. "We made a terrible mistake." Nodded slowly. Humans evolved on a world that tried to kill them every day. They are not just survivors. They are adapters. They take every challenge and turn it into an advantage. Every weapon used against them becomes their weapon. Every trick used to fight them becomes their trick. She looked at the screen, where human ships were now patrolling Earth's orbit. Ships built with alien technology. Ships crewed by beings who had learned in days what other species took centuries to understand. "You did not attack a primitive world," said. "You attacked the galaxy's fastest learners, and now they know you exist. Now they know you are a threat, and now," she paused, "now they will come for you." Felt cold fear in his heart. "What do you mean? They won the battle, they saved their planet. Why would they pursue us?" "Because that is what humans do," replied. "They do not just defend, they eliminate threats. They chase predators until the predators are destroyed. They are not prey, High Arbiter. They never were." Commander sat in his damaged flagship and stared at the stars. His fleet was broken. His reputation was ruined. And somewhere behind him, on that terrible blue planet, humans were looking at the sky and planning their next move. He had come to conquer Earth. Now he wondered if Earth would conquer the galaxy. Admiral stood in the command center of the captured battleship. It was now his flagship. The original crew was dead or captured. Human engineers had spent 2 weeks learning every system, rewiring every control, and making it their own. The ship had a name painted on its hull in Korean characters: Revenge. Admiral and officer reported, "Our scouts have located the fleet. They are regrouping near the asteroid belt." Studied the tactical display. 67 enemy ships remained from the original 300. They were damaged, disorganized, and demoralized. Commander was trying to restore order, but his authority had crumbled along with his invasion. "They expect us to stay on Earth," said. "They expect us to hide behind our defenses and wait for their next attack." He turned to his crew. Human faces looked back at him. Some were old veterans. Some were young pilots who had never seen combat before this war. All of them had lost friends. All of them had seen their world nearly destroyed. "We are not going to hide," continued. "We are not going to wait. They came to our home. They killed our people. They tried to make us slaves. Now we show them what happens to those who attack Earth." The crew cheered. It was a sound of anger and determination, of fear transformed into fury. "Set course for the asteroid belt," ordered. "We end this today." 38 ships followed the Revenge into space. 12 were captured vessels. 26 were human-built, upgraded with alien technology. It was not a large fleet, but it was enough. Commander received the report with disbelief. "They are leaving their planet," he said. "They are attacking us." "Yes, sir," his officer confirmed. 38 ships approaching at high speed. Should have been happy. This was exactly what he wanted, a direct battle in open space. But he was not happy. He was afraid. He had seen what humans could do. He had watched them tear apart his invasion. He had lost more ships to these primitives than he had lost in his entire career before this mission. "All ships battle formation," he ordered. His voice did not sound as confident as it once had. The human fleet arrived like a storm. Lee led the fighter squadrons. He was flying an alien interceptor now, faster and more agile than anything he had imagined. Behind him came 40 pilots, the best Earth had produced. They had trained in human fighters. They had learned in alien ships. They were ready. "Phoenix Squadron target their command structure," said. "We take out their leaders first. Without coordination, they fall apart." The fighters dove into the formation. They moved in patterns that made no sense to alien tacticians. They attacked from impossible angles. They took risks that no sane pilot should take. But human pilots were not sane by galactic standards. They came from a world where survival required constant risk. They had evolved to handle fear, to use it, to turn it into strength. Locked onto Commander's flagship, he saw the defensive turrets turning toward him. He saw the missiles launching. Any logical pilot would retreat. He pushed forward. "Phoenix Leader, you are too close," his wingman shouted. "Close is where I need to be," replied. He flew through a wall of defensive fire. Explosions lit up space around him. His shields failed. His hull cracked, but he did not stop. At the last possible moment, he fired everything. His missiles hit the flagship's engines. The explosion ripped through the ship. Commander was thrown across the bridge as his vessel tore itself apart. "Phoenix Leader got the flagship," someone screamed over the radio. "Direct hit, she's going down." Commander survived. His escape pod launched just before the final explosion. He drifted in space, watching his command burn, watching his fleet scatter in confusion. The humans did not stop. Admiral directed the battle with cold precision. His ships targeted enemy vessels one by one. They used weapons that they had learned to use better than themselves. They fought with a coordination that seemed almost telepathic. "Sir," an officer reported to no one in particular, "we have lost 40 ships. Our formation has collapsed. What are our orders?" But there was no one to give orders. Commander was floating in an escape pod. General had been captured on Earth. The Empire's greatest military force was leaderless and broken. One by one, ships surrendered. Those that did not were destroyed. Within 6 hours, the battle was over. The humans had won. President addressed the galaxy that night. His message was broadcast on every frequency, translated into every known language. Every species in the Galaxy Council received it. Every world that had watched the invasion received it. "My name is," he began. "I speak for the people of Earth. 2 weeks ago, your council voted to destroy us. You sent an armada to conquer our world. You expected easy victory." He paused, his eyes were hard. "You were wrong." He let that sink in. "We did not start this war. We did not ask for this war, but we finished it. Your fleet is destroyed. Your soldiers are captured or dead. Your commander is our prisoner." In her cell, General watched the broadcast. She had been treated fairly by her human captors. They had given her food, medicine, and respect. But she knew what was coming. She knew humans did not forget. "Earth does not seek revenge," continued. "We do not want war, but understand this. Anyone who attacks our world will face the same fate. We are not prey. We are not weak. We are humanity, and we protect our home." He leaned forward. "I am coming to Axis Prime. I am bringing a fleet, not to attack, but to talk. You will hear what we have to say, and then you will decide what kind of galaxy this will be." High Arbiter watched the broadcast in his chamber. His black eyes were tired. His body felt old. "What have we done?" he whispered. Ambassador stood beside him. "You woke something that should have been left sleeping." The humans were content on their world. They had no interest in galactic affairs, but now they know we exist. Now they know we are dangerous. And now they will never forget, finished. No, said, they will not. The human fleet departed Earth 3 days later. 50 ships, a mix of human and captured alien technology. At their center was the Revenge, carrying Admiral, Commander, Lead, Chief Scientist, and President himself. They traveled through space that no human had ever crossed. They passed stars that had no names in any Earth language. They saw wonders that would have amazed their ancestors. But they were not tourists, they were not explorers, they were survivors, and they had a message to deliver. Commander Park stood on the observation deck, watching the stars stream past. "Are you nervous?" Lee asked, joining her. She shook her head. "I was nervous when the aliens attacked. I was nervous when we fought for our lives. This is just talking." Laughed, talking to the beings who tried to destroy us. "Yes," said, and showing them why they should never try again. The fleet continued toward Axis Prime. Behind them, Earth recovered from the invasion. Cities were rebuilt. Wounds were healed, but nothing would ever be the same. Humanity had learned that they were not alone in the universe. They had learned that the universe was dangerous. And they had learned something else, something important. They were dangerous too. The galaxy had tried to crush them. The galaxy had failed. Now humanity was coming to the stars, not as victims but as equals. And the stars would never be the same.